Hey, what is up, Andrew? It is YouTube here once again, back with another mystery PayPal request. It's actually going to be two separate requests made by this long-time subscriber, supporter of the channel, and the person who sent me out this shirt, believe it or not. They're both Danny Carey. The first one is Danny Carey's Drum Tech is a Lifesaver. Let's check it out. I don't know what's happened there. Has he broken the head? Carries on like nothing. Oh, he's got a second snare there anyway. Okay, I might actually keep this playing through again because I didn't actually catch what went wrong. Whatever went wrong looks like it might have happened before the video. Well, because he's looking around right at the beginning of the video. Let's just have another look at this. Yeah, something's already happened. I cannot tell from that footage what has gone wrong in terms of Danny Carey being saved by his drum tech. Look, to be honest, that's the drum tech's job. Well, no, I mean, not specifically to change out snares as something goes wrong, but to be there for the drummer, right? To support the drummer. This is nothing unusual. And I mean, of all the parts of the drum kit, a lot of things can go wrong with a snare drum. It's a complicated drum. If you're not familiar with a snare drum, I realize a lot of non-drummers watch my channel. We've got the cymbals all around the kit. We've got the drums all over the kit. Things can go wrong, especially pedals. You know, there's a lot going on a pedal. But a snare drum, it really is, well, it's crucial. It's the heartbeat of the entire drum kit. And it's probably one of the more complicated drums, I guess, which means something can go wrong. Now, we love our snare drums. Snare drums are fantastic. We love the snare drums. We love them, don't we? We love the snare drums. Look at her. She loves the snare drum. But we don't like when things go wrong with the snare drums because then it is badly. We don't like when things go wrong with the snare drums. Anyway, I'm going to get a prepared one earlier. Now, this is probably the snare drum I would use, you know, the desert island snare drum doesn't look like much at the moment. It really doesn't look like much at the moment. This head is about 500 years old. But I mean, straight away, if you're not familiar, these wires down here, this is what gives a snare drum the snare sound. So if they're off, you don't hear any snare sound, right? We engage this, the strainer, that's what gives it that snare sound. Now already you can see that, you know, this is not on the other drums. It's a more complicated system. This is ratcheting up the wires to be tightly underneath the snare drum, giving it that fantastic sound. We love that sound. And I mean, generally other things can go wrong too because we're hitting it a lot.
That's what she said.
I'm embarrassed at the state of this head, but it sounds so good, this drum. Because we're hitting this drum a lot, and because it's normally cranked very tight, it's normally the tightest part of the kit, that can go wrong as well. You can blow out the snare head and you know, break it. It can come away from the hoop or whatever. Underneath, I guess not too many things can go wrong. These can come loose. Lugs can come out. Long story short, things go wrong. That's why big acts have a drum tech. And yeah, there was nothing unusual here. It was just a relatively quick change out. And you noticed how he literally just changed the snare. He didn't fix anything, right? So again, we would expect that. There's no time to fix. I mean, you're not going to replace a head. You're not going to replace a strainer system, right? You're not going to do any of that mid-song, right? You might do it mid-gig, but you're not going to do it mid-song. You just put in a new snare. Danny Carey, he would have, I don't know, 5 or 6, I imagine. Or most of the drummers at this level would have 5 or 6 snare drums ready to go, and it ain't no thing. And I think he actually had a secondary snare there anyway. And another twist, often Danny Carey actually plays with the snare turned off in that off position anyway. So not as noticeable, just hit a high tom for your backbeat. I mean, that sounds crazy to say, but that's the way Danny Carey rolls. He's an original. And for my mystery PayPal requester, we've got a second video, and it's Danny Carey Lateralus, but I believe it's him talking about Lateralus. We're going to find out. We love the Lateralus. Here we go. We love the Tool.
Danny Carey of the Los Angeles-based band Tool is one of the most powerful and creative drummers of this time.
Slightly older video.
In carrying on the tradition of the greats Billy Cobham, Lenny White, and John Bonham.
Hold on. Billy Cobham, Lenny White, John Bonham. Interesting 3 people to cite there. I'm just going to go back, check that out again.
One of the most powerful and creative drummers of this time. Influence in carrying on the tradition of the greats Billy Cobham, Lenny White, and John Bonham.
Sounds like a little bit like Bonham there. Just organically. He hits hard, man. Full swing. Beautiful drum kit. Ooh. Crazy. Oh. Now, we know Danny Carey, he's a big guy, and he plays big. On top of that, this compounds to a huge sound. If you're not familiar with his drum kit, by the way, this gold drum kit. So this drum kit is really famous, infamous. How much is Danny Carey's drum kit worth? The price of Danny Carey's drum kits varies greatly based on the specific components and customizations he uses for performances. His drum tree kit, which I believe that one was, costs roughly $70,000 due to its cast bronze brass shells and multiple cymbals and accessories. This kit is a serious piece of kit, and I believe it's incredibly heavy, as you know, bell brass is going to be very heavy. Two-handed. So deliberate, intentional. Did he, hold on, did he elbow the gong? That's what she said. Oh, he picked up a mallet. Did you catch that? There it goes. Crazy. Powerhouse. Just a powerhouse. intensity. Dynamics, the roll. Oh my god. Savage. Yeah. And that is how you trash can an ending. I just thinking Danny Carey reminds me more and more. I see it, and people have mentioned it on the channel. I see it more and more. He reminds me more and more of Neil Peart. Although they play quite differently, Danny's more of a savage, right? But very organized. The thinking, the planning, everything is planned like clockwork, right? You knew with Neil Peart, once he composed the part, that's how he played it. It might have small differences from night to night, really not much. And same thing here. It's surprising, actually, how precise it all is. There isn't actually a lot of room for improv because this is just so tightly composed. We just don't have room for improv, right? And that is a Neil Peart to a T. It's you know from night to night you're going to get roughly the same thing, and you're going to get that here as well. And the drum parts are composed as part of the song, right? It's not just here's a song, oh, I'll put a drum part with it. No, this is interwoven. This is the song. This is a compositional element of the song. Let's keep it going.
I love this kit.
Oh,
you know, it's a whole different breed of drum.
Amazing.
And I'm honored to play them, that's for sure. It's not anybody who can have an instrument like this, you know, with so much thought and so much creative energy and design put into it. It's like nothing else, you know, that's all I can say.
Well, thank you.
It's a joy to play.
And it's got
this gentleman here, I'm sorry, I don't know who this gentleman is. He said thank you. I'm assuming he's from Paiste. Did he make the kit? I don't know who this is. Hit me in the comments. And if you're not familiar also with this kit, it is literally made from Paiste cymbals. That sounds bonkers, but it's actually true. This drum kit, the shells, literally made of Paiste cymbals. Think about that.
It's got the Paiste alloy in it, so you can't beat that either.
Paiste alloy.
Yeah.
Those old spiritual symbols from yesterday.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Yeah. A
Amazing.
lot of drummers out there that are of the upper echelon that have worked real hard all these years to get where they are, and they're really, really enthusiastic about your playing, like Lenny White, who's one of the guys I got to start off with.
Yeah, he made some mind-blowing records. His first 3 or 4 solo albums were just what I grew up partially on, you know, along with the other fusion guys of that era, people that you worked with, you know, Bonham and Billy Cobham. You know, just that was that era, you know, and that the sound that Lenny
Fusion.
got out of the kit
players.
I was especially influenced by because it was so wide open and resonant, where most of the other people at the time were muffling everything down and stuff. And
Right.
I loved
Bookmark that.
I loved the way the drums sang when he hit them, you know, and it wasn't all choked off or anything.
Listen to the terminology he uses here. He loved the sound of Cobham and Lenny White because they played wide open, not muted. He said, another thing he said there is he likes it when the drums sing or something like that. Just listen to the vocab we're using here to describe sound.
Where most of the other people at the time were muffling everything. That the sound that Lenny got out of a kit, I was especially influenced by because it was so wide open. And
when he says wide open, he's talking about whether we mute the drums or not. So when we tune or when we're setting up for a gig, we can choose to mute the sound of the drums or keep it, what he's saying there, wide open, which is nothing. You just tune the head how you like it, and that's it. You might get a bit of a bung, like a long note, whereas if you start muting it, putting things on top of the head, you get more of a thud, a dead sort of decay sound. He's saying here that he really likes that open, let it sing sound. Words are important. And they really do describe sound here and what appeals to Danny Carey. Insights into Danny Carey's thinking here. This is great.
Resonant, where
Resonant. Again, letting the drums sing, not cutting it off. So we've got wide open, resonant, which are interconnected.
most of the other people at the time were muffling everything down and stuff. And
Muffling everything down. Again, a lot of non-drummers watch my channel. Sorry for all the stops. Original video link in the description of the videos. Muffling down. He's talking about putting moon gel or tape. You've seen drummers with tape on drums. That's what he's talking about. Muffled down versus wide open. Nothing on the drum.
Right, right.
I love this, the way the drums sang when he hit them. You know,
Sang. He didn't say the way the drums sound. Sang. Pure sound, pure notes.
wasn't all choked off or anything. And
Sorry, one more pause. He's saying choked off. Again, that's another reference to muting. Choked, muting. We sometimes do this in the control room, engineering, compression, gates, all that stuff, to close it off, to stop it, to create a shorter sound. He's saying the opposite. He wants it to sing and be longer.
stuck with that method of tuning, I guess, through you to this
Well,
day.
all of us have. Yeah, we're all in that genre of tuning, right?
Yeah,
The
let
ears,
the drums speak. You know,
Right.
Don't tape them up and shut them down.
Right.
You know, so, and if you tune them, then that's what it's all about, you know. But it takes a little bit more of an ear, you know. It's easy to stick a pillow or something or tape all over them, and they don't even have to be in tune then because you're just getting a thud.
Yeah, exactly.
Pillow in the bass drum is a classic. You've probably seen pillows or blankets, all sorts of things stuffed inside bass drums. That's to give it that thud sound, that dead sound, which we all love. We love the sound. There's nothing wrong with that sound. It's just that he's saying that he prefers a different sound. Is one better than the other? No, it depends, but this is still very interesting.
Exactly, yeah. And the technique doesn't show if you got
Yeah.
great technique.
Yeah, true. That was what was cool about Lenny and Billy. They were innovators in that era because to me, they were the first guys anyway I heard that were going wide open, man, and
Right.
just killing. And I guess, you know, John was doing that somewhat too.
Yeah.
John Bonham,
Yes.
yeah.
It's like you're
Yeah,
the
well,
guy who was doing all of
Well,
it.
yeah,
Bonham's
and I got to
funny,
partake in, watching some of these this miking technique here is amazing because
Yeah,
it's
it's interesting, man,
yeah,
that's for sure.
And look how great open the drums sound.
And it's a great feeling to play without all this garbage you're
Exactly.
dodging, you know.
Yeah,
It's kind of
yeah.
nice, you know, not to have mics all over things.
Yeah.
That's-
So
that's fun.
so Jimmy
Fun.
Page calls that letting the drums breathe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
Well, thanks, Danny, very much for being here, and that playing was really great.
Thanks.
So
Thanks for
humble.
having me.
Oh yeah, man,
Such a humble,
I could be of help.
we're honored.
pleasant person. So guys, as I said, original video link in the description of each of my videos. That one is worth going back and listening and absorbing the terminology, just the way they speak, the type of words. He said there, they were talking about the miking technique then, how wide it was. And Danny Carey said he really appreciated that there weren't, I think he said junk, he said there wasn't junk all over the drums and there weren't mics all over the drums. We're so used to using a lot of mics on a drum kit. Obviously, with a guitar, amp, cabinet, you can kind of put a mic on it, maybe two, and that's it. You're just capturing the amp. A drum kit is a collection of instruments. It is not, you can't really think of a drum kit as one thing. From a miking, from an engineering perspective, it's 7, 8, 9, 10 instruments all in one, right? And all of those mics are competing with each other. And sometimes they're very close together and you start getting bleed into the other mics. And it can get really complicated and it can actually start to feel quite claustrophobic because there's just leads going everywhere. There's mics everywhere. You've got muting on your drums. That's what he's talking about there. So he's saying that, hey, I really appreciate not having all that. It's wide open. There's no muting on my toms or in my kick drum. There's no big pillow in there. You're just hearing the drums. You're hearing me playing the drums. There's very little, I don't want to say interference is not the right word. There's not a lot of stuff, right? There's not a lot of extra stuff. You're just hearing a pure reflection of my playing and a pure reflection of the kit. It talked quickly about John Bonham there, about that sort of miking technique of not having close mics. I believe part of that at the time was that they just couldn't do it, right? Mic technology has come a long way, and drums are loud. If you put a mic right on a drum, smack the drum, you know, the mic's going to struggle. We've gotten around that in more modern times with just the incredible technology at hand now. I think back then in the 60s, 70s, you know, they would have just used distant mics, and it makes you think about live videos that we've seen on the channel where they did mic wide open and, well, wide, let's not confuse terminology, tuning wide open, but a wide mic distance. How did they get away with it back then? But we seem to be so tied to this close miking or triggered thing now. And it's interesting to hear a legend like Danny Carey himself say, you know, I like the wide open, man. I want to keep it organic. And, you know, I said at the beginning of the video that he sounded a bit like Bonham. It's probably partly due to the miking technique. It's just bare bones, overhead mics, or, you know, a little bit of distance, you know, 1.5 meters or whatever it is, away from the drum kit, letting it breathe. There's a little bit of air before it hits that mic. I'm rambling now because videos like this really do make you think. Thank you so much to the mystery PayPal requester. I'm going to leave it there. I could talk for another 2 hours about this because I'm so hyped up on miking and drumming and playing and Tool and Danny right now after that. But we'll leave it there. Original video link in the description. Go get it. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Ciao. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. Remember, original video link, as always, in the description of each of my videos. Of course, go along and support the artist. If you are enjoying my channel, please do consider hitting that subscribe button, like button, and leaving a comment. It all helps me out. If you out there have a direct reaction request that you definitely want to guarantee gets on this channel, you can do so by supporting the channel and hitting that PayPal button. I do also have a Patreon. It's just $5 a month, and through that you get access to the blocked videos. And remember, you out there as a subscriber of my channel, you get access to a full and free 30-day trial over at Drumeo. Go and check if it's going to be a good fit for you and your musical education. And spoiler alert, it will be. Tell them I sent you. For my North American viewers, go check out the latest deals over at Sweetwater on my link. And for my European subscribers, go check out all my favorite gear selections over at Thomann. Until next time, take it easy. Keep chopping wood. Ciao. Oh, you're still watching? You should subscribe.
Where's the subscribe button?
On the left? Is it left or right?
No, isn't it the right?
Top left. On the right's got the video and the playlist.
Yeah, come on, man, subscribe. Don't be a dick.
And then Drumeo too. Drumeo down the left, bottom left. You should do it. You should do that. It's good. And then on the right, videos you might like, playlist.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.